New York Attorney General Letitia James is furious as Trump gets a massive win through Truth Social. It's like the stars are lining up for the former president as he's only gaining more momentum toward the 2024 presidential elections. Now, many supporters of the former president were worried about his huge fine in New York City, almost $500 million. And while that amount has been significantly decreased, there's no telling if more charges are going to be filed against him. Although it sure looks like he can afford a few more of them as he's now $1 billion or more richer. As things get better for Trump, things seem to keep getting worse for his detractors as they're finding out that the law works both ways. Now, I have an update on Letitia James and the lawsuit that she's now facing. The same can also be said for Jack Smith, who's also in a little bit of trouble with a Republican representative. Much like Fulton County DA Fani Willis, Smith is suspected of misusing federal funds. That means taxpayer money, all in his efforts to try and get Trump in trouble. Check this out.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has filed an ethics complaint against the special counsel investigating former President Trump. The Congresswoman is claiming that special counsel Jack Smith abused federal government resources illegally to interfere with the 2024 presidential election. Smith oversaw the investigation into former President Trump's handling of classified documents and his action prior to the January 6th insurrection. Stefanik says Smith is trying to rush the trial in order to interfere with the general election.
Now, before we really get into this, guys, all I ask is that you take 1 second, hit the like button for the video, and I want to thank you so much for always sharing these videos on social media. Now, my question for you guys is, do any of you think that it's plausible that Jack Smith did this? As we know, Smith has filed 2 cases against the former president. One is for allegedly mishandling classified documents, similar to what President Biden did as senator and VP, although his defense is he has dementia, and the other case for allegedly interfering in the 2020 election. Stefanik posted on X that Smith is doing exactly what he's accused Trump of. She says that any reasonable observer would see that Jack Smith is just trying to interfere with the 2024 presidential elections. This is because they don't want the American people to vote Trump back into the White House, or so Stefanik says. She adds that Smith has tried to speed up the case in order to try and get Trump before the end of the year. Either that or at least try and influence the outcome of the November election. Jack Smith, though, he says that the American people have an interest in this case, adding that we are the ones that want him to resolve this thing quickly. She also threw shots at DA Alvin Bragg and called their actions as corrupt election interference, something that Trump has also said regarding all of these cases, that all of them have been brought up by the Biden administration so as to keep him off the campaign trail. But even with these roadblocks, Trump keeps chugging along. Just recently, the former president became $1.8 billion richer. This is all due to his newly public company, Trump Media and Technology Group, whose main asset is the social media platform Truth Social. An earnout bonus of 36 million shares were awarded to Donald Trump as the stock stayed above $17.50 per share for any 20 days within the 30-day waiting period. He now controls 114.75 million shares of Trump Media. His net worth is now estimated at around $8 billion.
Donald Trump's legal fees may be rising, but so is his personal wealth. The former president on Tuesday was set to secure a stock bonus worth $1.3 billion thanks to Trump Media and Technology Group, which operates his social media app, Truth Social. The award would take Trump's overall stake in the company to $4.1 billion. While Trump has agreed not to sell any of his shares before September, the windfall represents a significant boost to his wealth, which Forbes pegs at $4.7 billion. The bonus reflects the exuberant trading in Trump Media's shares, which have been on a roller coaster ride since the company listed on the NASDAQ last month through a merger with a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC. Many shares were snapped up by speculators and those supporting the Republicans' 2024 presidential bid against Democrat Joe Biden. Under the terms of the deal, Trump is entitled to the stock bonus if the share price stays above $17.50 for 20 trading days after the company's debut. The stock ended Monday's session at slightly more than double that price, making it likely that Trump will secure the bonus at Tuesday's market close. LSEG data shows that Trump Media, which disclosed millions of dollars in losses earlier this month, has the highest valuation multiple compared to U.S. companies with a similar market cap.
This means that the initial plan from Letitia James to bankrupt Donald Trump really isn't working too well for her. In fact, he came up quite a bit in spite of her. She sadly may not even get a glimpse of even one of his properties, even though we know that she's aching to get at least one building. Now, it hasn't been all perfect for Donald Trump here. Trump Media, which trades under the ticker symbol DJT on the stock market on the NASDAQ, it's been on a bumpy road as of late. The stock initially surged at $79.38 per share. This was followed by a week of losses that caught the attention of their CEO. Their CEO, David Nunes, he accused some investors of manipulating the stock through an illegal type of short selling. But just recently, DJT saw a resurgence with share prices rising to $49.93. Now, although Donald Trump won't be able to cash out on his stocks for this new money just yet, this is because of a lockup period that restricts him and other Trump media executives from selling their stock shares for another 5 months. Many of the stock shareholders are supporters of the former president. It's estimated that 600,000 retail investors make up the company. Some of them went on the app to celebrate this win for Donald Trump. One supporter even called out short sellers because they said that they've been played like a fiddle. Which brings us to how Letitia James feels about this. Now, one thing is certain, she's probably not happy. The goal was to drain Donald Trump of his funds, not make him more popular with even more money. Because as we see things right now, James is nowhere near her goal of getting Trump, so to speak. She is, however, successful in keeping him off the campaign trail. But James isn't doing so hot herself either. She was recently hit with a lawsuit from multiple anti-abortion groups. The groups accused the AG of violating their First Amendment rights after her office sent multiple notice of intentions to sue letters to multiple pregnancy centers. And it's not just that. New Yorkers are now worried about where they live. Amidst the rise in crime and the influx of illegal immigrants, residents somehow feel neglected. Now, this comes as a record number of elites from New York are now having panic rooms installed in their homes. Oh yeah, so these panic rooms can cost $50,000 up to $1 million, and many analysts believe that this is the reality check. If the elites are worried, what about the rest of us? Meanwhile, we got Alvin Bragg and Letitia James focused on a former president, making his experience within the justice system in New York that much worse. However, Trump's plan has been modified just a bit to cater to this specific situation. Representative Lee Zeldin believes that while Trump is forced to spend the next several weeks in Manhattan, he should probably campaign. He should take the opportunity to connect with communities across the city. This has led to Donald Trump's visits drawing in large crowds, something that experts are amazed by given how this is a democratic state. It's also becoming the backdrop for Donald Trump's meetings with potential foreign leaders. Speaking of which, the former president has been keeping busy managing his schedule. He had recent talks with the likes of former Japanese Prime Minister Taro Aso and Polish President Andrzej Duda. Donald Trump also says that he's going to straighten out New York for everyone. He says that he loves this city, but it's become so bad within the last 3 or 4 years. He further states that despite making Florida his official home, he would continue to cherish New York. But what do you guys make of all this? Are Letitia James and DA Bragg prosecuting the wrong person? Should they instead be actively helping New Yorkers? Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to continue to get you guys the facts to keep you straight on everything that's going on. All I ask is that you guys take 1 second, hit the like button for the video. Thank you for subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.